gonna call the regular meeting of the Parker City Council to order on November 19th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. And stand for the invocation, please. I guess I'll be doing it today. Me. Heavenly Father, we come before you today in humility and faith. We thank you for all you have given us and many blessings in our lives. We ask for your guidance and strength. Show us the way and fill us with courage and wisdom. Give us the patience and understanding to face life's challenges with grace. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you call the roll, please, Miss
Botiford?
Here.
Mr. Chappell?
Here.
Mr. Haney?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Barrow?
Here.
Barrow. Mayor Kelly is out.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is items from the audience, and if there's anyone here that would like to speak about something that is not on our agenda tonight, please come to the podium and give your name and address and tell us what you want to tell us. Nobody? Got nothing? Okay. We'll move on to the first item on the agenda is a variance request for 4705 East 6th Street. And this has already been to the Planning Commission. And they recommended it on October the 8th of 24. Council, it's what you want to do. Do you want to... What I'm understanding, it's a pole barn, right?
That's correct.
It's a pole barn being put up.
She wants to put it 3 feet next to a shed, within 3 feet. And the LDR states that it should be 10 feet.
So there's a variance test, as all you know, that has 7 requirements. If you all choose to go through the variance test, then I can either go through them in whole or in part, and I think you have an application for the variance, so it's up to you, Madam Chair, what you want me to do.
Well, up to the council to see what you want to do. Do you want to go through the variance test, or do you feel like that the other option is to go ahead and let them do it, but that'd be up to the council to decide what you want to do.
Well, given the LDR requirement, you should go through the variance test.
Okay. So the attorney's recommending that we go through the variance test for it.
Do you need a motion on it?
Not to go through the test.
Okay.
As y'all will remember, the burden of proof and persuasion is on the applicant to prove by clear and convincing evidence each of the following: that there is a specific hardship affecting the development of the property resulting from the strict application of the provisions of the regulations. That's number 1. Number 2, the hardship is not a result of actions of the owner and is not based solely on a desire to reduce development costs. Number 3, the proposed variance is necessary to preserve a substantial property right where such property right is generally available to other property owners of adjacent or nearby properties or other properties in the land use category. Number 4, the proposed variance will not materially increase congestion on surrounding streets, increase the danger of fire or other hazard, or otherwise be detrimental to the health, safety, or welfare of the general public. Or general welfare of the public, I'm sorry. Number 5, the proposed variance will be compatible with adjacent and nearby development and will not alter the essential character of the land use district. Number 6, the effect of the proposed variance is consistent with the purposes of the regulations. And number 7, the effect of the proposed variance is consistent with the comprehensive plan. So, if you all determine that the applicant has shown by clear and convincing evidence that they met that burden, then you could proceed. If you determine they have not, then the variance would not be granted, and that would be the end of the application.
Do we have a representative here to,
They're ready.
for,
You wanna come?
can you come to the, is this pole barn gonna be at least 5 feet off the fence line?
Oh, yes.
Will you state your name and address for the record, please?
It's about 12 foot off the corner
Lee
of the property.
Pettibone, 4705 East Sixth Street, Parker, Florida, 32404.
It seems like I remember, fire department years ago had an issue with buildings being, I think that may have been off the fence line, but the 3 foot from the shed, could you increase it to 5 foot and still be,
We'd still be off the property line, but I mean, it's an open pole barn, it doesn't restrict anything, it's no walls. So
but-
even if you got the shed catches fire, you can put a hose there. I mean, I don't understand, yes, it could be 5 feet, I mean, we'd still, cause we're almost 20 feet off the property line now next to it, but,
and this property doesn't adjoin any other properties, it's pretty much off the
no,
bayou,
we're at the
isn't
end
it?
of this street, we're at the end of this street on the corner of West Park, we're at the corner of West Park and Sixth.
But the proposed place you wanna put the pole
It's in
barn
the
is,
back left corner.
and there's nothing behind,
There's an apartment, but she's already been up here and said she has no problem, cause we're not coming close to it, you know, Kim.
right,
And then the, Suggs is built next to us, but they're not anywhere near there. They have a privacy fence, but we're way off it.
And I went by there today and, I see no problem with putting it there. Actually, they got a lot of land there, so it's really not gonna crowd the land or nothing like that.
And it's not a traffic area that
No,
would
it's not a
impede
traffic
anything.
area.
And it actually makes the most sense to put it back there in that
Yeah.
corner. If you look at our yards and landscaping and everything, it's, I mean, that's tucked out of the way.
well, after reading her answers to her variance request and seeing her, the extent she's done to plan this, I'd make a motion we approve her variance request.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
We got a motion and a second. Would you take the
Ms.
vote?
Boswell?
Yes.
Mr. Chapel?
Yes.
Mr. Haney?
Yes.
Ms. Barrow?
Yes.
Mayor Snyder?
Okay, you got it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, the next agenda item is public hearing for the second reading of the 2024-422 ordinance. And now I'll open up the public hearing, so if there's anyone here that would like to speak on this ordinance, please come to the podium and state your name and address.
Paul Palmer, and this is going to be a different talk that I do because there's a lot of lessons learned that I'd like to explain. I've been involved in this project quite some time.
What's your address, sir? I'm sorry.
Oh, part 1135 West Street, sorry. I would ask that, it's going to take a little bit longer than 3 minutes, just bear with me because you'll enjoy what I have to say. Was that okay?
As long as you don't take all night.
It won't take all night, darling. Okay. So, you all know my involvement in this. I'm going to go a little over the history and some of the lessons learned in the process. As we now near the final stages of this process, I would like to discuss the journey and possible lessons learned. Today, you will vote on needed changes to the comp plan to accommodate manufacturing aspects of Mr. Santora's business. I would like to step back a moment and reflect on the journey. He bought the property January of 23. The Planning Commission, which I was on, reviewed it, the LU change in, I think it was either February or March of 23rd. And then we also reviewed the draft development order that was included with the PACI business because that's a requirement in order to make an LU change. At that meeting of the Planning Commission, I pointed out that the LDR and comp plan, is that me?
No. It's probably 6 feet.
it moving.
Go ahead, Paul.
It doesn't like me. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So at that meeting of the planning commission, I did point out that the LDR and comp plan did not permit manufacturing Parker, and we voted 3-2 to deny. Now here's where we get into like lessons learned. Had we immediately started on the legal process to change the comp plan, and had Mr. Centauro been more willing to compromise on his proposed DO, specifically use of city streets, and issues with the groundwater irrigation and storm mitigation, we would have had a community meeting early on, and we're hearing all sides, come up with the compromises, and I believe he would have been in his factory before last December. So the lesson is, follow the procedures in the LDR and comp plan. They're clearly stated. We shouldn't have spent so much time trying to avoid it, and I could have spent my time not spending money hiring a lawyer to fight it. Number 2, problem with the proposed change that I have is by granting the comp plan change, we are now permitting other existing general commercial properties that border a city street to use a city street for commerce. Now that is not contained within the comp plan, but that is a provision that was made in the LDR with ordinance 2024-421. That's where we allowed less than 4-wheel vehicles to come down. And now, embedded in the comp plan, historically, and in state regulations, the state has always tried to preserve a separation of the residential areas from the commercial areas, and that's why until this particular reading, until this particular incident for the Centauro property, we're now broaching that by no longer do they have to restrict their property to the state roads or the county roads, okay? And the city was advised to perform an impact statement on the other general commercial properties. I'm sure you guys are aware of the letter that was sent from the Commerce Department. But basically they said, hey, you need to do a study to check this impact on others. I don't believe that study was done, and I understand. But when you hear me out to the end, you'll see why I'm bringing this up. The study, the letter that I submitted that you have on your hands is a way to keep what we've done on the West Street property, the corner of the old church, from propagating to other areas in Parker. So yes, I've had my concerns with the particular thing, mostly due to water mitigation issues, and also to the traffic. But I didn't really have a serious problem with the project other than it was non-compliant with the LDR and the comp plan, and we should change that before we try to grant the approval. That's the procedure thing. So a way to keep this problem from propagating would be to establish that area as an industrial zone. It takes a lot more time, etc., but I'm just pointing out that's why you have that letter in front of you. It's a way to keep my foot in the door if I want to, to continue to press the issue. So I do have some concerns, though, in that my principal objection to the changes that were made, I'm putting the comp plan and the LDR together because they enable, the comp plan enables an activity in the LDR, which then allows commercial traffic operating on the city streets, access, okay? You understand what I'm saying? No confusion? Okay, so, since now he is going to be bringing his semi-trailers onto the property directly, not using the city streets because it's prohibited, and we noticed that the property that was the new business in the Gulf Coast place, for a while we're using city streets, but they quit doing it. But I sort of posted a couple pictures and say, hey, you guys aren't supposed to be parking our trucks on our street. They're blocking the stop sign. So that's been resolved. They're coming in and off. He's going to be coming in and off. And I say, well, you know what? There's no reason why his regular traffic can't come in and off and not turn our city street into a traffic corridor for a commercial business. If this was done, I would withdraw my need to continue holding any word is, standing. That's why that is in there. Now, I would like to, so that's item number 2. I hope I'm not pissing anybody off with my conversation, but this is my talk about why I did everything that I did. And, okay. So I have expressed concerns about the groundwater mitigation issue. Now, this is not in the comp plan nor the LDR, but I don't believe we're going to have a new hearing on the development order. Is that a true statement?
Mr. Palmer, this is your public hearing.
Okay, all right. So what I would like to do is to bring this point up. So when Mr. Santora did his groundwater analysis for computing stormwater mitigation and groundwater migration issues, he came up with that the depth of the water table below ground level was 15, 16 foot, okay? That is so out of line with all the other properties along that line. And then Joe Hoffbauer made a presentation and saying, this is due to the purging station. For all of you who aren't aware, but the purging station is located on the corner of that property, and it is used to mitigate some old damage from fuel tanks that were buried underground and leaked, etc. So it's a process where they pump water out, and then they also pump air in. Well, the pump air in sort of comes to the top and pushes the groundwater table lower. So Joe Hoffbauer had said that the groundwater table there is probably closer to 3 foot below the ground level, and this has dramatic effects on what type of water mitigation system he uses. Okay, if he gets it wrong, we may have the same problem that we had by the school on Lake Drive, where the wrong kind of stormwater mitigation created a ground current which undercut the road. Okay, I made a long presentation with a slideshow about it. Okay, anyway, so what I'd ask that if we do have a new thing that they do take additional measurements to look to see if that groundwater table really is indeed 15 foot. If it is 15 foot, the kind of pond structure they put in is absolutely perfect. But if it isn't, and it's closer to like 3 or 4 foot, like at Fulcrum, and like at the pond that we put in next to Cherry Hill, then a different solution would be required. And I also think that if he can bring his semi trucks through on the off of 98, that he could bring his other traffic off of 98 and avoid crossing that barrier that has been in place since we've been in Parker of not having your commercial access on our city streets. So that is my thing. Well, thank you for listening to me, and thank you for giving me the little extra time to talk.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer.
Okay.
Does anyone else like to speak on this? I'll close the public hearing. And
just to bring the council up to speed, as you remember, you had the Planning Commission had a public hearing on the proposed amendment to the comprehensive plan, which is all we're talking about tonight in ordinance 2024-422. You had a first public hearing on August the 6th, 2024. We sent it to the State Planning Agency, Land Planning Agency, which is the Department of Commerce. They distributed it to other departments. We received one separate comment about a change in the law that will be added the next time we do a major update to the comprehensive plan, and that was it. So this ordinance is the culmination of that. The language was cleaned up a little bit to clarify how it mobile home park. It said mobile home parks and subdivisions before relative to mobile home parks. So I've made it clear that it's just mobile home parks that would be in the commercial land use district. So this ordinance is before you all tonight for your consideration. You've heard Mr. Palmer. All the materials that have been presented to you over time would be part of the public record and part of the record in this proceeding. And so, Madam Chair, you would need a motion to read, and then if you so choose, the council so chooses, a motion to adopt.
Motion to read.
We have a first and a second. Take the vote, please, Ms. Purdue.
Ms. Botiford?
Yes.
Mr. Chapel?
Yes.
Mr. Haney?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Barr?
Yes.
All right.
Rivera?
Ordinance number 2024-422, an ordinance amending comprehensive plan of the city of Parker, specifically to clarify allowable uses in a commercial land use district and revise the goals, objectives, and policies of the various elements, providing for severability, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing for an effective date.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We don't have to have a public hearing for that.
No.
I didn't think so.
You've had your public
Yeah,
hearing.
okay. You already made the motion? You second it? We got a motion and a second to adopt. Would you take the vote, please?
Ms. Botiford?
Yes.
Mr. Chapel?
Yes.
Mr. Haney?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Barrow?
Yes. Okay. That's the only things we have on the agenda tonight. Is there anything, Mr. Chapel, you need to bring up? Is there anything you need to bring up tonight? That's all we got on the agenda.
No, I think, other than your Christmas, lighting ceremony, but, no.
You got anything? You ain't got nothing?
Nothing.
Well, all I got to say is the Christmas lighting is on December the 7th, the usual time we have it at 5 to 7 over in the park, as long as it don't rain. Santa Claus and hayride and all that'll be going on, as we always do, so that's about all I got to get. And the mayor will be back, he should be back by Monday, so I guess that'll be it.